Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to share the speaker portion of our Connections After Hours gathering of the On Purpose Woman Global Community. Claudette Gadsden, the conversation coach, speaks on Let's Go with the Flow. Coach Claudette coaches amazing women to live their dreams while they talk up. Her signature talk on redefining selfishness helps clients to see how being selfish is a major part of self-care. Her direct yet caring approach makes it easy for clients to learn new skills, identify barriers, and take action. She takes pleasure in reminding people just how awesome they really are. And you can find out more about her at coachclaudette.com, which is also in the text. Claudette, thank you so much for being here. And you're on, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It is absolutely a pleasure always to hang out with you. And so I'm going to share 5 things to get and keep you in the flow. And it starts with entering a state of flow immediately. When you wake up in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I remind myself, today is already amazing. If I experience something different, it's because I thought something different. Have you considered that? I want to always know and think that my day is going to be amazing. And then there are times when I know that I have to go into a meeting and maybe I'm not ready for it, or maybe I'm expecting some tension in the room or some uncomfortable conversations. And in those moments, I send peace before me. And I say simply, peace, go before me, meet me at the door. So if it's meeting me at the door, I am walking through it to get into that space of peace. And so that's how I start with entering into a state of peace. And the next thing that I do is I remain flexible. So I can remember when I first started, preparing for this talk, and it was last week, and I said, okay, let me get some notes together so I can figure out what I'm going to talk about. And so I got my notes together, and on that morning, I left home an hour earlier to go to an appointment. 20 minutes down the road, I realized that I had left my phone at home. So I live in the middle of the woods. I turned around to get my phone. So because I turned around to get my phone, I was not going to make it to my appointment. So when they opened, I called them up and I explained that I was not going to make my appointment, and I apologized, and please, can we reschedule it? So he said, sure, no problem, we can do that for you. So he reschedules it for yesterday. So yesterday I get up, I leave my house an hour earlier so I can make this appointment. And 20 minutes down the road, I realize I left my laptop at home. I'm going to pause to say, I have never left my cell phone at home. I have never left my laptop at home if I know that I need it. Like, this just doesn't happen. So as I'm being flexible, as I'm reminding myself to stay in the flow, I thought about last week and what happened last week. And I said, I guess for some reason, I'm not supposed to be in that building today. So I'm okay with that. I'm just going to go into the office and do what I'm going to do. And so then when the same thing happened to me yesterday, I realized, we talked about this earlier, intuition. My intuition told me that for whatever reason, I was not to go to that place. And I listened. So I did not call to say that I missed my appointment. I did not call to reschedule. I moved on with my life. Because for me, it was letting me know that my intuition was telling me something. And I could have very well said, oh, I will be there, but I'll be late. Or I could reschedule for another day. But why would I put myself through that? And I think that so often we get caught up in thinking about where we're supposed to be and what's happening in our lives. And oh my God, I missed my appointment, and beating ourselves up because I can't believe I did that, not once, but twice. I'm not beating myself up about it. I am stopping and I'm listening and I'm paying attention. This is not where I'm supposed to be. And I had never been to this place before. It was actually to get an inspection for my car. Never been there before. Don't know anything about these people. Just know that the universe said, don't go there. So my third tip is to be mindful. Be mindful of how you feel. So when I came back to get my laptop, it wasn't, there was no thought about rescheduling the appointment. There was no ill feelings like I felt last week when I missed the appointment, because the thought of missing an appointment and taking up space that someone else could use is, I have a problem with that. And so if I'm not going to make an appointment, I like to call people and let them know I respect their time like I want them to respect mine. And still, I didn't have any ill feelings. Like, I felt good that I paid attention to my intuitions. I felt good that I was in a place where I could just go with the flow and say, okay, well, I'm not supposed to be there for whatever reason. Let me go on with the rest of my day, and then I'll find another station, another time, and I'll get it done. The good thing is, and maybe that was the only reason why I scheduled the appointment, because I was so excited because I called the station and he said, no, I can't get you in until next week, but you have a 90-day grace period. What? No one told me I had a 90-day grace period. So I was so grateful for him telling me that, and it's like, people come into our lives to serve one purpose and we want them to serve other purposes. And that was not his thing. His purpose was simply to tell me that I had a 90-day grace period and I didn't have to stress myself about getting this inspection done in the next couple of days. So being mindful, like just recognizing that I am at peace, and I just need to sit with that and not let outside things interfere with that peace, because that peace is mine. That other stuff that's going on out there, that belongs to the other people. And I don't want to take there. I can remember when I was a teenager and people would say, I don't know how many of you have heard the saying, you're tripping. And we would say, you're tripping, but I don't want to go. You can take that journey by yourself. And so that's how I feel about people that choose not to be in a space of peace, but choose to be anxious and controlling about life and about every moment of it and all the things that are going on. Because the reality is, I believe each one of you do the best that we can. And that's all that we can do, is the best that we can do. And what does that look like? It is different for all of us. And I know, and it's an example is, I don't know, I need to plant some flowers. Well, if I'm going to plant the flowers, I should just go plant the flowers. I'm not going to be stressed about it either. I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. And I'm just going to kind of just let it flow. I'm going to do what I can. And if I find that I'm having a hard time or I'm not able to get it right, then I'll call someone to help me. I'm going to do the best that I can do. And then I'm going to move on with my life, because it's so easy to be stressed about not going with the flow, to be stressed about whatever is happening outside of us. And so for me, I find that if I stop and just breathe. I am reminded that that's where the flow is. It's in that breath. It's in that heartbeat. It's in that space that is inside me that says it's okay to just let it go. It's okay to not stress about something that I have no control over. It's okay for me to sit here and say, I'm pretty comfortable right here, right now. And even though I know that I could be doing this work or that work, I'd rather just sit here right now. And my daughter does such a beautiful job of reminding me of that it's okay. Because every now and then I will come home and I will sit on the sofa and I won't move. For 2 hours, I will just sit there and not move. And she'll call and she'll say, "What are you doing, Mom?" "I'm sitting on the sofa, and now that you're calling, I realize that I have been sitting here for 2 hours doing nothing." And she says, "Oh, that's great." And how awesome is that? To have someone to remind you to just go with the flow, and it is awesome. Whatever it is, however it works out, it is absolutely perfect. And so I am going to reiterate for you what our 5 things are, what are the 5 things that you can do to get and stay in the flow. So the first one is enter a state of flow. Make that a conscious decision that today I'm going to just go with the flow. I'm not going to be stressed about anything. Whatever goes on, whatever happens, I know that it is perfect. Number 2, be flexible, because when it doesn't work out the way you think it should work out, it doesn't mean it's not perfect. So be flexible and know that this is where I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Number 3, be mindful. Be mindful of how you feel. Like we spend so much time in our heads. Like, I'm thinking this, oh, this is what I'm thinking. Oh, I don't think that's going to work. No, this is not. Like, get out of your head and go into your body and see what your body is telling you. And when your body says, "Oh, that's enough," listen and pay attention and then do something about it. Number 4, do what you can. Because whatever you can do, because here's what I know. We are a bunch of awesome, badass, kick-ass women. And there is nothing that we can't do. And we are grown enough to be able to determine our limits, our own limits. We can do that, to say, okay, I've had enough. I've done enough. I can move on. So do what we can. Do what you can in every situation. And that's all that anyone can ask of you, is to do what you can. And in and through all of that, remember to breathe. So let's try that one. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Let's do 1. And 2. And 3. Now I want you to all go with the flow and remember, when you wake up in the morning, the day was already amazing. If you experience something different, it's because you thought something different. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you, Claudette, for those amazing, beautiful, helpful words. I'm asking everybody on the call here, unmute yourself so we can clap and do woohoo and whatever you want to do for Claudette and let her know how awesome that was. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo! Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome.
And before we finish this
Thank
recording, I
you.
want to just thank anyone who's watching this live or watching the replay on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to join us for one of our 11 free Zoom gatherings a month, or an in-person in Columbia, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, or Tallahassee, Florida, comment below and I'll tell you how to do that. Or you can also go to our website, opwgc.com, which is in the text below. Thanks for watching, everyone.